Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the Wealth Thesis, where we decode the psychology of success to help you design a life of freedom. In today's video, 10 things poor people do but the rich don't, we are going to explore 10 things that the vast majority of poor people frequently engage in but rich people strictly avoid. We understand that this topic can sometimes touch upon uncomfortable truths, and it might make some of us feel uneasy. It may sound like a judgment, but in reality, this is the most sincere counsel derived from the extensive behavioral studies of millionaires and billionaires worldwide. Our sole aim is not to criticize or blame. Our objective is to help you maintain an open mind, providing a mirror for self-reflection. This allows you to identify if any unconscious habits are currently holding you back and preventing you from realizing the desired social standing and life changes you aspire to. Success is not a random miracle. Rather, it is the summation of small, repeatable choices made every day. So, let us, your companion on this journey of developing mindset and awareness, begin this deep exploration into success. Number 1. Poor people watch too much TV. The late entrepreneur and motivational speaker Jim Rohn once said, "Poor people have big TVs, rich people have big libraries, rich people have big libraries." This quote is profound not only literally, but also in the deep truth it reveals about the allocation of our most precious resource, time. Scientific research clearly demonstrates this disparity. According to the Norwalk General Social Survey at the University of Chicago, 34.1% of American families with incomes under $9,000 per year watch TV for more than 5 hours daily. Imagine that, over 35 hours per week, which is almost equivalent to another full-time job, yet entirely meaningless for your career or your cognitive development. In stark contrast, consider the high-income bracket, those earning over $150,000 annually. Only 1.1% of families in this group watch TV for more than 5 hours daily. This almost 30-fold difference is not accidental. It is the result of a conscious choice regarding how time is utilized. Poor people choose to be the spectators, consuming hours digging into celebrity gossip. They live the lives of others through a screen. Conversely, the rich choose to be the learners, the creators. They invest time in self-education, reading books, market research, and enhancing their self-worth. Rich people understand that every hour spent watching TV is an hour traded away from skill development, relationship building, or working toward their larger goals. If you are determined to unlock success, start by turning off that TV and opening a book. Are you seeking growth in awareness and mindset? The library is where you find it, not the screen. Number 2. Poor people buy sales, just because they are sales. This is a common psychological trap in the consumer mindset of the poor, prioritizing volume over quality. We all love the feeling of getting a deal. You walk into a store, see a shirt listed at $100, but it's 50% off today, marked down to $50. That aha feeling appears, and your brain signals immediately, "Great, I just saved $50. But here is the profound, harsh truth that rich people always see clearly. If you didn't genuinely need that item, or if you weren't planning to buy it at the original $100 price, then instead of saving $50, you just lost $50. This money could have been used for investing, saving, or acquiring an asset that yields actual value. This mindset not only wastes money, but also destroys your long-term vision. Poor people easily fall into the sales trap, purchasing non-essential items merely to satisfy the immediate feeling of having scored a bargain. The result is a closet full of low-quality items that quickly become obsolete or damaged. In contrast, the rich spend with a long-term vision and certainty. They are not swayed by the fleeting emotion of a discount. They are willing to spend a larger amount on a high-quality, durable jacket that will last 5 years, rather than replacing 5 cheap shirts in the same period. They understand that true value lies in quality, durability, and long-term service, not in the discount percentage. If you are looking to build financial certainty, learn to ask yourself these 3 crucial questions before every purchase decision. 1. Do I truly need it? 2. Does it provide long-term value? 3. Can I invest this money in self-development or asset creation instead of buying this item? Number 3. Poor people buy lottery tickets. This habit deeply reflects a difference in the mindset of control and hope. Poor people tend to gamble their financial fate on lottery tickets more than the rich do. A study by The Economist in 2024 revealed a stark discrepancy. On average, an adult living in the poorest 1% of zip codes spends nearly 5%, equivalent to $600 per year, of their income on lottery tickets. Meanwhile, those living in the wealthiest 1% of zip codes spend only about $150 on tickets, equivalent to 0.15% of their salary. Why such a significant difference? Poor people often view the lottery as a quick escape, a silver bullet to solve all financial hardships. When struggling to find success and yearning for a better life, believing in a multi-billion-dollar prize falling from the sky is much easier than wrestling with daily self-effort. The rich, supported by relative economic stability, are less exploited by the promise of millions. They understand that you should never gamble your financial future on any game of chance. Instead, they transform large desires and aspirations into concrete goals, think realistically about action steps, and dedicate time to achieve them systematically. Buying the lottery is not just a waste of money. It is a waste of mental energy, leading you to believe in a lucky illusion rather than your own power. Serenity and wisdom only arrive when you seize control of your life, not when you hand it over to the god of luck. Number 4. Poor people wake up later than the rich. Ask yourself, when does your morning begin? Do you frequently lie in bed until the last minute before rushing to work, or do you utilize the first precious hours of the new day? It is clear that poor people tend to wake up later than the rich. On days off, they might spend the entire day in bed, indulging in relaxation, that is, in reality, procrastination. In contrast, rich people wake up very early to prepare meticulously and calmly for the day ahead. Waking up early offers benefits not only in productivity, but also psychologically. When you wake up early, you have higher energy levels and a clearer mind. You have time to exercise, meditate, read, or simply answer emails without the pressure of work or life. You position yourself better for success from the very first moments. Consider the example of successful individuals. Apple CEO Tim Cook is famous for waking up around 4 to 5 a.m. to read and respond to emails. LinkedIn CAO Jeff Weiner wakes at 5:30 a.m. These individuals do not wake early because they have to, but because they understand that the morning is the golden time for doing the most important things for their careers and themselves. By waking up late, poor people unintentionally waste a part of their youth and developmental capacity. If you wake up late, fail to learn, and waste time on meaningless activities, at some point you will find yourself too far behind what the world demands. Misery and the feeling of being left behind stem from failing to control your own time. Start changing this by setting your alarm 30 minutes earlier tomorrow and use that time to learn something new. Number 5. Poor people blame others for their misfortune. This is a common and toxic mindset among the poor. When confronted with failure, instead of honestly self-assessing, they immediately blame external factors, a poor market, bad luck, or the system being set up against them. They perpetually remain victims of circumstances, always seeking someone or something else to shoulder the responsibility for their lives. Conversely, rich people always accept 100% responsibility for every outcome in life. The successful mindset is, no matter what happens, no matter the external factors, the final result is due to my insufficient preparation, ineffective management, or flawed strategy. When you blame others, you inherently halt the process of accurate self-assessment, which is crucial for self-improvement and personal growth. You may stumble, make mistakes, and err, but you are not a failure until you start blaming others, including fate, for your results. Become the architect of your own life. Everything that happens, good or bad, is feedback on your actions or decisions. When you seize control, you gain serenity and wisdom, knowing that merely changing your actions will change your outcome. Number 6. Poor people spend money before they earn it. This is one of the most dangerous financial behaviors, a downward spiral leading to stress and uncertainty. One of the greatest dangers is spending money before you have it. The moment you start borrowing money, incurring expenses, or using credit cards for non-essentials before you are able to pay for them, your life begins to spiral downwards. You are constantly chasing your tail, trying to catch up with last month's bills. This situation often stems from impulse buying. You see an item, the craving arises, and you buy it immediately, regardless of whether you have to use borrowed money or a salary yet to arrive. This creates an undisciplined consumption habit, turning you into a slave to bills. The rich understand this principle clearly. If you do not have enough cash for something that you are willing to purchase without affecting your life, then you cannot afford to buy it. How do you break this habit? A simple yet effective technique is the 72-hour delay rule. Next time you want to buy something non-essential, commit to delaying that desire for 72 hours. You will be surprised to find that after 3 days, the impulsive emotion has largely vanished and you will no longer want to buy the item. This is how you train control instead of letting emotions control your wallet. Number 7. Poor people have no savings. The result of irrational spending habits, a lack of long-term vision, and constantly spending money before earning it is inevitable. Many poor people have no emergency reserve fund. Consider the difference when a sudden event occurs: a car breakdown, an unexpected medical bill, or job loss. For those without savings, they must scramble, liquidate assets, car, house, in a forced sale, or borrow money at high interest rates. Their lives are completely disrupted. Meanwhile, rich people always allocate their income judiciously and, naturally, have contingency reserves for emergencies. When a crisis occurs, they can resolve everything smoothly without having to sell any assets or fall into debt. Financial certainty comes from having a safety cushion. The philosophy of Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, perfectly summarizes this difference. He said, "Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving." This is a powerful shift in mindset. Poor people wait to see how much they have left after paying all bills and making purchases, often nothing. Rich people prioritize saving and investing first, and only spend the remainder. By prioritizing savings, you are prioritizing your own financial future, ensuring peace of mind and the ability to grow long-term. Number 8. Poor people misunderstand how credit works. Another vast difference in the spending and financial management of poor and rich people is how they utilize debt and credit cards. Poor people use credit cards to buy things that diminish their value over time or even cost them money, such as the latest phone, designer clothes, or a luxury car they cannot afford. They use debt to purchase fleeting satisfaction. Conversely, the rich use credit to invest in things that generate more money for them. They use it as a leverage tool to acquire assets, expand businesses, or invest in profitable ventures. Engrave this truth into your mind: credit is debt. The moment you fall into debt, you are enslaving yourself until you buy back your freedom with interest. Interest is the price you pay for living beyond your means. The core, undeniable advice that rich people always adhere to is, if you cannot afford to buy it with cash, you cannot afford to buy it. This is not just financial advice. It is about self-respect and personal discipline. Learning to respect money and only spending what you have earned is the first step toward building certainty and confidence. It is how you inspire yourself to change negative thinking. Number 9. Poor people fail to build career-advancing relationships. There is a truth that many poor people fail to recognize. Success does not only depend on what you know, but heavily depends on who you know and how you build your network. Poor people may spend considerable time socializing, but these relationships are often personal, recreational, and deviate from professional goals. They associate with people who lack ambition or who reinforce their limiting beliefs. This difference in mindset is clearly demonstrated by data. In the book Rich Habits: The Daily Success Habits of Wealthy Individuals, Corley wrote that only 16% of low earners repeat the commitment to build opportunistic relationships, those that can bring career benefits. Meanwhile, this rate is 79% among the rich, a significant disparity. This gap reflects profound differences in thinking. Poor people favor independence. They often prefer to go their own way in life, believing that asking for help or connecting is a sign of weakness. Rich people value cooperation. They view meaningful connections with like-minded individuals as important stepping stones to success. They recognize that to achieve larger ultimate goals, they will need to cooperate, learn, and leverage the experience of others. If you are on the journey of self-development, start proactively seeking out inspiring individuals, people who are doing what you want to do. Your network should be a source of knowledge, motivation, and opportunity, not a place for complaining or meaningless recreation. Number 10. Poor people procrastinate problems. This is the last habit, but it is one of the most costly procrastinating problems, particularly health or technical issues. Poor people often believe they are saving money by avoiding regular health checkups, neglecting small repairs, or skipping asset maintenance. They avoid the small immediate cost. However, here is a harsh truth. It is costly to be ignorant of your problems. When you procrastinate a small issue, you allow it to grow over time, turning a manageable and cheap problem into an untamable dragon. For instance, skipping a routine checkup to save a few dollars can lead to the detection of a serious illness at a late stage, raising treatment costs hundreds of times over, potentially requiring the liquidation of all assets. Rich people understand that solving a problem, while it is small, is an investment. They invest in preventative health care, regular maintenance, and resolve technical faults immediately. This brings peace of mind, certainty, and ensures they can operate at peak efficiency for the longest possible duration. Procrastination is not saving. It is the accumulation of unnecessary cost and stress, reducing your focus and energy needed to pursue your goals. My friend, we have covered 10 things that poor people do but the rich don't. Through this conversation, we hope you feel inspired rather than judged to change your habits and mindset. Every point we discussed is not about your bank account balance, but about your daily mindset and behavioral choices. From choosing reading over watching TV, choosing quality over discounted quantity, to accepting 100% responsibility and resolving problems immediately, these are all choices that determine whether you will advance or remain stagnant. Do you yearn to unlock success, seek a better life, and change your social standing? The path begins now, not with a lottery win, but by changing the smallest habit after you turn off this video. If you have made it this far, it proves you are truly an individual dedicated to self-development. Demonstrate your commitment today by commenting below, "I will change." Let the Wealth Thesis community know your resolve so we can support you on this journey. Don't forget to hit the like button if you felt this content provided value and inspired you. And please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our podcasts. See you in the next video.